Good morning. One of the most fundamental parts about magic is energy. We have a lot of people that saying that energy is white or black, dark, light, and all that. There are people that talk about raising the vibration of their energy, but very few people talk about having energy. You see, we think that energy is universally equal throughout this planet. And I disagree with that concept. I believe that there are places upon this planet that are bountiful with energy and then lacking energy. Let's try to picture it as being like water. We have rainforests, that are hot, humid. Life is flourishing. Then we have deserts where they are lacking water and there's a few oases, but it is generally an area that is desperately needing rain for life to continue. So we need to look at energy into this way. And so we have to realize that there are some areas on this planet where there is very little energy. And so if you are trying to cast a spell on an area that has very little energy, you are going to have very little success. It is hard for you to channel, focus, shape your energy for a spell when there is so little to work with. It is like trying to put out a house fire with a gallon of water. You can't do it. You need an ample supply of water to put out that house fire. You need an ample supply of energy to perform magic. So we talk about ley lines, places where gravitational lines alignment interact. And that is one place where energy could be at. Excuse me. And I have been doing my research, and there are places called Earth nexuses. This is a point where there are abundant resources, elements in an area. And it is at these points where I believe energy is abundant. For there to be an Earth nexus, you need earth, wood, water, metal, fire. Those 5 components. And you need to have them somewhat close by, and you can then work on drawing energy. It is my belief that this is why we have some stone circles throughout, like Europe mostly. These are areas where people were trying to build Earth nexus points so that they can draw upon energy to perform magic. So if you had a king that believed in magic and he had a magician, a druid, however you want to phrase it, he can order the creation of standing stones or create something where his druid, his witch, his wizard can harness magical energies so that he can channel it, focus it, shape it, and send it out to perform magic. And so I think that is why we have so many stone circles in Europe. And that is people were trying to perform magic and they were trying to build Earth nexus points. I also call them Earth nodes. So the next thing is creating. Well, the next step is finding. So if you go out and walk in a wooded area, you know how sometimes there's those clearings? Well, you are in a clear area, and usually there's a few stones there. There's water nearby because if you're in a wooded area, there's like a creek or a small pond or a lake and all that. And so there could be some metal in there. And so you have almost all the components needed to form a nexus point or to have a nexus point. And so you could then use that area to summon energy, to energize yourself. Grounding and centering in such an area would be beneficial. Okay. And so if you can find a smart way to build a small fire to make sure that the woods don't burn down, you could actually build a small fire and, you know, build up that nexus point to channel your energy. You could actually make a nexus point there or at a more convenient location for yourself. And that is why you see the little images around me. I have a project that I am going to do this summer. I am going to build an Earth nexus point, an Earth node point. Now, first thing I need is Earth. Well, I got good fertile soil, so there is my Earth, but I'm also going to have stones in it. What I'm planning on doing is going to a couple farmers' fields because in my area in Iowa, there's usually a couple piles of rocks, roughly 8 inches across, that the farmers, pull out of their fields. So I want to grab a few of these and make a small stone ring, roughly about 5 feet across. I'm going to fill it with soil, and I'm going to plant a perennial in there. Not sure which type of flower I want to put in there, but I want to put a nice perennial in there. Then I need water. So I want to buy a bird bath, which is beneficial to the animals. It is decorative. And so I am going to buy a concrete bird bath. Do not buy plastic. Plastic is artificial. It's also an insulator. So it could work as a barrier. So buy a metal or stone bird bath and put it into the area where you want to build the nexus point. You need wood. Well, I got trees in my yard. I got plenty of little bushes and all that. I am going to be building my nexus point in an area where I have 4 junipers growing right next to my garage. And I also have cherry trees, blackberry trees. I have the wood. Metal. Like I said, you can buy a metal bird feeder, and that's good. If you're trying to build this in 10, you got to find a way to make it look like decoration. My wife has metal sculptured sheep. You see these two images here. That's what her sheep basically look like. So I can grab these sheep. I'm going to buy a couple more things like this. They got those small metal windmills. And I'm going to put that in my backyard. I might actually put that in the middle of my stone ring that I'm going to build. And so there's my metal. So next thing I need is fire. Fire is easy. I have a fire pit. I got the metal ring for a fire pit. But I can easily go to the local hardware store, get the yard stones, and I can build a small fire pit. And so then I can, throw a few pieces of wood in there, burn a fire, and I thus have all the key ingredients to build a nexus point, and I can then help draw energy to that area, and I would have an energy boost so that I can harness, focus, shape energy to perform spells. What an idea. So anyway, I would like to hear your opinions on this. So everybody, leave the comments below and take care. Be at peace.